My best friend slept with my girlfriend while I was lying in the hospital, fighting for my life. Yeah, you heard that right. And it gets way worse. Let me take you from the very beginning. Her name was Sophia. We had been together for almost 3 years. She was the kind of girl everyone noticed, beautiful, smart, always laughing. I was completely in love with her. We did everything together. Weekend trips, late night talks, planning our future. I even bought a ring and was waiting for the perfect moment to propose. And my best friend, his name was Marcus. We had known each other since high school. He was like a brother to me. We played basketball together, shared secrets, helped each other through breakups. I trusted him with my life. Literally, everything changed on a rainy Tuesday night. I was driving home from work when a truck ran a red light and hit me head on. I woke up in the ICU with broken ribs, a collapsed lung, and doctors telling me I was lucky to be alive. The first person I saw was Sophia. She was crying, holding my hand, saying, "I'm here, baby. I'm not going anywhere." Marcus came the next day. He hugged Sophia, patted me on the shoulder and said, "Don't worry, bro. I'll take care of her while you're here. You just focus on getting better." I was so grateful. I really thought I had the best girlfriend and the best friend in the world. For the first week, Sophia was perfect. She stayed with me every day, brought my favorite food, slept in the uncomfortable hospital chair. Marcus visited almost every evening. He would sit with us, make jokes, keep the mood light. Sometimes he would take Sophia downstairs to get coffee so she could take a break. I remember thinking, man, I'm so lucky. Most people don't have support like this. But then, bingo! Something started to feel off. Sophia started coming later and later. She said traffic was bad or she had to work extra hours. One night she came at 11 p.m. smelling like men's cologne, the exact one Marcus always wore. When I asked her about it, she laughed and said, "Oh, Marcus gave me a ride and hugged me goodbye. You know how he is." Another time I woke up in the middle of the night and saw her texting someone with a little smile on her face. When she noticed I was awake, she quickly locked the phone and said it was her mom. I tried to shake it off. I told myself I was being paranoid because of the painkillers and the fear of dying, but deep down, I already knew something was wrong. On the 12th day, I was finally strong enough to walk a little. The nurse left my room for a moment, and I decided to surprise Sophia. I slowly made my way down the hall to the waiting area. What I saw through the half-open door destroyed me more than the car crash ever could. There they were, my girlfriend and my best friend. Marcus had her pressed against the wall. They were kissing like they had been waiting for this moment for weeks. His hands were under her shirt. She was moaning his name quietly. I stood there in my hospital gown, IV still in my arm, watching the two people I trusted most in the world betray me while I was literally fighting to stay alive. I didn't scream. I didn't run in. I just stood there. My heart was beating so hard I thought the monitors would start beeping. When they finally noticed me, Sophia's face went white. Marcus froze. She started crying immediately. It's not what it looks like. We were just emotional. I was so scared of losing you. Marcus tried to say, "Bro, it just happened." I looked at both of them and said, only one sentence. "Get the F out of my life." But that was only the beginning of the real nightmare. Because what they did in the days after that moment, the messages, the lies, the way they tried to twist everything and make me look like the crazy one, that part was even more painful than catching them. But that was only the beginning of the real nightmare. The next 48 hours were pure chaos. My phone wouldn't stop vibrating. Sophia sent over 120 messages, voice notes, paragraphs, crying videos. I was so scared you were going to die. I needed comfort. Marcus was just there for me when you couldn't be. It happened only once. I swear on my life. She even sent a photo of herself crying in the hospital bathroom with the caption, "I hate myself for hurting you." Marcus wrote me separately, "Bro, I'm so sorry. It was a mistake. We both love you. Let's just move past this." I was still hooked up to machines, barely able to breathe without pain. And these two were already building their "we're sorry" narrative. On the third day, Sophia showed up at the hospital again. She looked like she hadn't slept, eyes swollen, holding my favorite takeout and a giant teddy bear. She sat on the edge of my bed, took my hand, and whispered, "Baby, please. We can fix this. I'll never see Marcus again. I'll delete his number right now in front of you. Just don't push me away when you need me the most." For a second, just a second, I felt that old love, the part of me that still wanted to believe her. I almost said okay, But then she added, "And honestly, you've been so distant lately because of your accident." I felt so alone. That line snapped me back to reality. What I didn't know at that moment was that while she was crying in my hospital room, she was still texting Marcus behind my back. Later, when I finally got access to her cloud, yeah, I did that. I saw everything. The day after I caught them, she wrote him, "I can't stop thinking about last night. Seeing him in that bed made me realize how much I need you." They even made plans to meet again after they were planning their next time, while I was still in the I. The hypocrisy reached another level when they started playing the victim card to our mutual friends. Sophia told everyone, "He's pushing me away because of the trauma. I'm trying so hard to be there for him, but he's so cold now." Marcus told the guys, "I was just comforting her. Man, he's overreacting. The accident changed him." They turned me, the guy who almost died, into the villain of the story, the one who was too damaged to understand true love. I was discharged a week later. Sophia was waiting outside with balloons and a welcome home sign. She hugged me tight and said, "See? I'm still here. I didn't leave you when you needed me most." I looked at her and asked the only question that mattered. "If I hadn't caught you that day, would you have ever told me?" She paused, looked down, then gave me the most predictable answer in the world. It was a moment of weakness. It would have never happened again. But her eyes said something else. And that's when the real mind games began, because 2 weeks after I got home, something happened that made everything I thought I knew completely fall apart. The messages didn't stop. The lies got even bigger, and the way they both tried to rewrite the entire story, that part still makes my blood boil even now. And that's when the real mind games began. 2 weeks after I got home from the hospital, Sophia showed up at my door with dinner and tears in her eyes. She cooked my favorite meal, lit candles, and said all the right things. "I've been going to therapy. I understand now how much I hurt you. Marcus was just a distraction because I was terrified of losing you. But I choose you. I've always chosen you." She even deleted all her social media accounts in front of me so I could see she had nothing to hide. For a moment, I wanted to believe her. The painkillers were still in my system. My body was weak, and part of me just wanted my old life back. I let her stay the night. That was my biggest mistake. The next morning, I woke up to find her in the kitchen, making coffee like nothing had happened. She kissed me on the forehead and whispered, "See? We're going to be okay." But when she went to take a shower, her phone buzzed on the table. I picked it up. There were new messages from Marcus from the night before, while she was lying next to me in my bed. "Miss you already. Can't stop thinking about you. When are you coming over again?" He still doesn't suspect anything, right? My hand started shaking so hard I almost dropped the phone. When she came out of the shower and saw my face, she knew. She started crying instantly, not the soft, sad tears from before, but loud, dramatic sobs. "It's not what you think. He's been harassing me. I was trying to get him to leave me alone." She grabbed my hands and said, "Baby, please, after everything you've been through, don't let this destroy us. I'm here. I'm choosing you every single day." She even tried to turn it around on me. "You're still so paranoid because of the accident. The doctors said trauma can make you see things that aren't there." Gaslighting level 100, while I was literally holding the proof in my hands. Later that night, I went through everything. Over 400 messages in the last 14 days. Photos of them together in his car right outside the hospital. Voice notes where she told him, "I can't wait until he falls asleep so I can sneak out and see you." She had been meeting him almost every single day while pretending to be my perfect, supportive girlfriend. And the worst part? Marcus had the nerve to write her, "Don't worry about him. He's still weak from the crash. He won't do anything." They were counting on me being too broken to fight back. I didn't yell. I didn't cry in front of her. I just packed her things while she was at work the next day and left them outside my door with a simple note. "Never contact me again." She lost it. She called me 47 times, left voice notes screaming, crying, begging. She even posted a vague story on her new Instagram. Some people change after trauma. And not for the better. Her friends started texting me, calling me heartless for abandoning her after she stayed by my side through the accident. They completely rewrote the story. I became the cold, ungrateful boyfriend. They became the poor souls who just made one mistake because they were scared. But the final twist, the one that still keeps me up at night, came 3 weeks later. Because that's when I discovered something that made everything I thought I knew look like child's play. Something that proved this wasn't just a one-time betrayal. This had been going on much longer than I ever imagined. But the final twist, the one that still keeps me up at night, came 3 weeks later. I was going through my old cloud backup, trying to find some medical documents, when I opened a folder I hadn't touched since before the accident. There it was. Messages between Sophia and Marcus dated 4 months before my car crash. They had been sleeping together for almost half a year. Photos from hotels, voice notes, where she told him, "I feel more alive with you than I ever did with him." Even a message from her 2 weeks before the accident. "When he's gone on that business trip next month, I'm all yours for the whole weekend." The accident didn't start their affair. The accident was just the moment they got careless. They had been betraying me long before I was ever in that hospital bed. I didn't feel anger anymore. I felt something colder, emptiness. I screenshotted everything and sent it to both of them with one simple message. "I know everything. Don't ever contact me again. If I see either of you, I'll make sure everyone we know sees these messages too." Sophia called immediately. This time there were no tears. No, it was a mistake. She just said quietly, "How did you find out?" That was the moment I realized she never loved me. She loved the comfort I gave her. The stability, the future she could hide behind while she did whatever she wanted. Marcus tried one last text. "Bro, we can still be friends after all this, right?" I blocked them both and never spoke to them again. It took me 6 months to feel like a human again. I moved to a new city, changed my number, deleted every photo of us. I started going to the gym, reading books, meeting new people who didn't know my story. And you know what I learned? The worst part wasn't the cheating. The worst part was how long I kept believing in people who had already stopped choosing me. But today, I'm stronger than I've ever been. I don't hate them anymore. I just feel sorry for anyone who has to live with that level of dishonesty. So, yeah, that's the full story. Every single painful, disgusting, heartbreaking detail. I went from almost dying in a hospital bed to watching the 2 people I trusted most turn my life into their dirty little secret. And I still came out the other side. If you're watching this and you've been betrayed, if your best friend, your partner, or anyone you loved stabbed you in the back, just know this. You're not crazy. You're not overreacting. And you will survive it. You can send your own story straight to my email. It's in the description below. Putu will read every single one, and I might tell your story in one of the upcoming episodes. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like if this story hit you hard, and let's keep spreading the truth together. Truth hits different when it's your story. See you in the next one. Family, stay strong. Stay strong.